Good evening, guys, and happy Monday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, today was a little bit better. Like the first day I feel like sort of back in like a normal-ish schedule. I actually slept in really late today, but honestly it's so weird. Like I feel like I'm totally like on my mom's sleep schedule right now because of like her work and everything like that. And I mean, like, she goes to work at 11 o'clock or whatever and doesn't get back until like 8 o'clock almost in the morning. And so Jack had to walk to school, and from now on for the rest of the school year at least, like, and possibly next year as well, he'll have to walk to school on Mondays, which sort of stinks. Like, because today it was snowing outside. I was like, seriously? Like, he woke me up because he'd just taken the dogs out and their feet were muddy, I think, maybe, because like it was like rainy sort of and like, you know, snowy and everything. But he told me that, so then I went and brought them back in my room once their feet were dry, and I looked outside. I was like, it's snowing. Like, there's snow on the ground. Like, that's crazy. It's ridiculous. And then honestly, next Saturday I looked at the temperature. It's supposed to be 80 degrees outside, which is crazy. I was like, that is so nice, beautiful. I put down in my planner, because I told you guys how the meal plan sort of for me is changing up a little bit. So I put on the meal plan, because I'll be cooking Mondays, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're basically like Friday through Monday. But yeah, so today, like, I sort of changed that. So today I'll cook. Tuesdays I won't. Wednesdays, Thursdays I won't. But I cooked tonight. I actually just ended up doing pizzas because, for one, we had like 8 pizzas, frozen pizzas out in the freezer outside. So I was like, okay, I'll take 2 of these and we'll have those for dinner tonight. And then also 2, because I plan on getting another 2 at Jewel when we go tomorrow, which is why, too, guys, I will have a haul for you guys most likely tomorrow's vlog, which will be Jewel and Aldi, which is super weird. I hate going to those 2 stores during the week. Like, if I can try and find a day like on the weekend, like if we can't go on Saturday, we go on Sunday. But again, it didn't work out well because Sunday would have been really tough to have been able to go on Easter. So, you know, and like some stores too, like I actually think Aldi might have been closed all day yesterday. I don't know if they were open at all, actually. Like I said, because of Easter. So, you know, I know that they were closed early, like when we were driving home, which we got home still somewhat early, like they would have normally been open. They were actually closed. So, like I said, they could have been closed though all day. I don't know. Anyways, though, but, you know, because of that, like, we couldn't really go, at least possibly, to the stores yesterday. And then on top of that, too, I just felt like it would have been super, super busy, and I don't want to, like I said, you know, I had things I had to get done before Easter yesterday, too. So anyways, we ended up, I'll have that in tomorrow's vlog, but because of that, like I was telling you guys too, we're changing up the meal plan. But on Monday, our Saturday is supposed to be super nice out on like 80 degrees, which is why it's like so weird, right? Like the Midwest weather will have, again, Monday, it's snowing outside. I think tomorrow even there's a possible like chance of snow. And it's funny too, I was watching the Cubs game and they're in Chicago, and it's like snowing. Like I could see at one point somebody was up to bat and there was like snow, and I was like, oh my goodness, really? Like, you know, there's actual snow during the baseball game. Just sort of crazy. But then by Monday again, or I keep saying Monday, no, today is Monday. By Saturday it's supposed to be 80 degrees out, which I was like, that's beautiful grilling weather. So that's why I have in my meal plan to grill on what's it called, on Saturday. But then it's supposed to sort of get like cold by like Sunday. It's only supposed to be like maybe 50s as a high, which is still really nice. Like, it's not even as cold as today. Like today I think the high was like maybe 39 or 38 or something like that, which is pretty, like I said, crummy cold weather. But where I was going with the whole thing that I started off with was that I feel like I'm almost on my mom's sleep schedule, just because, like, I don't know, I just have not, like, especially since she sort of started work. And I noticed it was almost exactly when she started work, or maybe like the week right before that, I started to get into a little bit of a bad habit. But then because of it too, like I was in a really bad habit, because like I feel like I was almost sort of following her sleep pattern a little bit. And I think I've told you guys this too, like, and I think too because that was Jack's spring break too, and so he was home. It almost for me is like, if people aren't following like the normal like going to bed at like midnight or 10 o'clock or something like that, wake up at 7 a.m. Like that's sort of like what Jack does. Like honestly, he normally goes to bed a little bit earlier, like or a little bit later, like 11 to midnight, and he normally gets up at like 7 o'clock to go to school. But because of that, he is, you know, like again, awake early, and I feel like sometimes I get almost on his sleep schedule sort of too. And it's weird just because like it's not like I barely wake up, I barely hear people like when I'm sleeping or anything like that. I sleep, you know, just with the dogs in my room. Like I don't even share a room with anybody, you know. And so like, and I don't wake up from like hearing really other people, you know, like in the house or whatever. But I feel like sometimes it's if like somebody is still awake, like Matthew and Jack are on spring break or, you know, summer vacation, whatever, winter break, and you know, like they're staying up really late. Sometimes I feel like I miss out on things if I wind up going to bed early. And you know, if they're like, oh, we're staying up until 2 a.m. or whatever, and I'm like, okay, so am I then, you know, even if like I'm not with them, you know, like hanging around with them or something like that, I still feel like I miss out. Like I might miss out on conversations or something that winds up happening in the house. And again, it's not like they're loud or noisy or anything like that. Like I can still, honestly, I'm a very, very sound sleeper. I can probably sleep through almost anything that anybody's doing in the house. Like again, very like, and if not, like again, my mom coming home this morning, like the dogs were barking, they woke me up, but I immediately fell right back to sleep. And so, but I feel like maybe I actually like slept worse because of that. Like I ended up sleeping in later because I was woken up and then went back to sleep, instead of just like continuous sleep. So I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. But like for the most part, like I, you know, am not like, I can sleep through almost anything. But again, I just feel like, I don't know, like I just get on, again, like attached sort of to sometimes like people's sleep schedules, either like, you know, and like too, like my mom's not even here. Like I don't know, it's just really weird and bizarre to me sometimes. But I don't know, I just feel like I noticed as soon as, like I said, Jack was home for spring break, my mom started again like a weird, you know, like shift and stuff like that, and working nights and everything. It's almost like now for me, my whole sleep schedule's off, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why that would need to be, but for some reason it just is. And so, like I said, that's been sort of tough like lately, is trying to get, you know, like, I don't even say back on a sleep schedule. It's just like, I don't know, like I just, I am just so off right now. And again, like I feel like it's sort of that, like it's just, again, like something big in it's changing almost too, you know, especially like for my mom. And you know, like I don't know, it almost affects me in some capacity too, even though it really doesn't all of that much, but again, it sort of does. But then like on top of that too, I noticed like if I'm awake and I'm like, you know, up doing things, then the dogs have more of the opportunity to bark, versus like if I stay in my room, you know, and I'm sleeping, you know, while my mom is also trying to sleep, then they're not up barking and not being a nuisance and waking her up, because she's definitely not as much of a sound sleeper as I am. Like the dogs can bark and sometimes I sleep through it. If they're like really annoying barking, then I wake up from it. But like I said, for the most part, I sort of wind up sleeping through like most of what they wind up doing. Like for the most part, like they'll sort of just not like growl, but like they'll just sort of like be like, you know, whiny, and that I can normally sleep through. If they actually start barking, that's when I wake up. But you know, like I said, so for some reason, like too, like I'm like, oh well, I'll just stay sleeping then too, so the dogs stay sleeping so they don't bother her, you know. So like I don't know, it's like that whole adjustment too is sort of weird for me. But now that again she's like, I think this week, unless they randomly ask her to come in one day during the week, she won't work again until again like Saturday night. And so, you know, for the most part, like she'll be back on like a normal, you know, like sleep schedule, you know, like again midnight to 7 o'clock, whatever, you know, sort of thing. And so then, you know, like more after that, she'll be again like just the weekends will be weird. But like the weekends I'm actually good about waking up, because we have to like go to the grocery store. That's when we spend time to get things done and stuff like that, like projects or whatever. So I'm actually good about getting up earlier on the weekends, but during the weekdays is when I'm really bad. But since my mom will be on a normal like schedule for the most part during the week, I should be able to, like I said, maybe get back into her routine a little bit too in that sense. So yeah, I don't know. And then too, like it was also weird, like we just had so much stuff going on last week. Between Easter, we had other errand things to run. Jack also too had like his SATs, and then so like he had like had weird sort of like school hours because of it too, like early dismissal things and stuff like that as well. And so like all in all, again, all that kind of stuff that was going on this week just was sort of weird. But then he had Friday off too, and so like, I don't know, again, there was just a lot of extra I felt like that was going on last week. And so this week I'm like, okay, finally, like, you know, things are back to normal at least a little bit. Like I did edit, I ended up getting to dishes and laundry, like again, sort of normal things. Even though I was up late, or woke up late, you know, I was still able to sort of get to normal things. I finished doing my grocery list for Jewel and Aldi, which I actually didn't finish until tonight. But again, I wrote in, like, I actually did Walgreens already too, so that's ready for Thursday when we go. And I don't think I'm gonna go to Meijer this week, just because like we probably maybe would go to Meijer like on like Wednesday or something like that during the week, or like maybe on Monday. But because we're doing Jewel and Aldi, just because we couldn't do it over the weekends, we're doing it this week, you know, during the week, so we're not gonna go to Meijer. And my dad also had like a chiropractor appointment yesterday. So like I said, there was like, again, just like extra things that were going on in the afternoons that we couldn't go there. So Meijer, I'm planning on, I know I've said this for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks now. I think we'll plan on doing it next week. Like again, once everything has completely settled down, I think. And then like, that's the other thing too, is like Mother's Day is coming up. And because of that, my mom's like, well, I prefer actually celebrating Mother's Day on Saturday, just because again, like, because she works between Saturday and Sunday, so normally that time in between there is like when she's sleeping, like on Sunday for the most part during the day. So she really wants to celebrate it more on Saturday, where like we can celebrate it for most of the day. Then she normally takes like a nap before she goes to work, and then goes to work in the evening. So like most of the day on Saturday, earlier in the day, we can celebrate and do Mother's Day. But that's not, again, for a couple weeks now, but like just looking ahead at that kind of stuff. You know, so like I said, we've already sort of, you know, figured out and have been able to make accommodations for things like that. I think the same thing too for Christmas. I think Christmas falls on a Sunday, and so we're like, we could just celebrate Christmas on Saturday, like, and really nobody has to be the wiser, because like, how is it gonna really wind up affecting us? Like, and we could celebrate Christmas Eve even on like Friday. I feel like it's better too celebrating it on Friday, like Christmas Eve, then like doing everything a whole day ahead actually, because we don't have to worry about, you know, like, oh, we're gonna do like a catered thing or something like that for like Christmas Eve, and have to worry about it because nobody's gonna be catering stuff the day before Christmas Eve, like, you know. So some stores though, like when we did like Caputo's, I think we did that like 2 years or whatever, they might not actually even have it available though on the Friday. It might have to be on Christmas Eve, but then we could actually do that for Christmas Day dinner and do something else, like homemade something on like Christmas Eve on Friday. So I don't know, it's gonna be sort of interesting. Like I said, we're possibly gonna wind up like changing up actual holidays and stuff like that to when we can celebrate it, just because again, like my mom, she can't take off because those are her hours. She will always work Saturdays and Sundays. So like I said, you know, and it's not that it's gonna affect us a whole ton, but like, because she'll be getting home at 8 a.m., you know, on Christmas Day. And then, you know, again, have to pretty much sleep so that she can go back to work then on Christmas night. It's gonna be sort of weird. So like, that was one thing that we were all sort of like pondering about, but like she brought it up and she's like, we'll have to do that like for Christmas. And Matthew's like, you know how far away Christmas is right now? He's like, that is like not even, like, we're trying to get rid of the cold winter weather, like think summer thoughts, you know, sort of thing. And instead my mom's like, well, we have to start thinking about this now. So again, that's another thing to like bring up. But it's just, again, I've told you guys, it's like interesting sort of, you know, to have somebody that, again, like my mom hasn't worked, she worked this job before when I was little, but that was like 24 years ago or something like that, or 20 something years ago. So again, it's just one of those, like, now we are having to figure out how to adjust to this. So it's a little bit of an adjustment period, but again, we're all sort of learning it. Hopefully my sleep decides to figure it out as well. You know, but anyways, I will see you guys though all in tomorrow's vlog with a haul. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.